All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about a huge shift happening in broadcasting, where the worlds of information technology and broadcast engineering aren't just bumping into each other anymore. They're basically becoming one and the same.
Now, just so you know where we are, this is part 22 of a big 40-part series on modern broadcast transmission. And today, we're really going to focus on something that has totally changed the game: IP networking and how it has revolutionized the way we manage broadcast facilities.
So let me ask you a question, and it kind of sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. What on earth does a big, expensive broadcast transmitter site, that tower on a hill, have in common with a regular old IT data center?
You ready for this? The answer is pretty much everything. And I know that might sound crazy, but it's true. The very same skills that keep a data center up and running are now what keep your favorite stations on the air. It's wild to think about. The airwaves, they're basically just networks now.
And that leads us perfectly into our first big topic, the networked facility. We're going to look at how regular, everyday Ethernet, the same kind you plug into your computer, has become the absolute bedrock of broadcasting.
Okay, so let's trace the signal, right? First, you've got all the equipment. I'm talking transmitters, studio gear, the whole shebang. It all just plugs into the local network. Now, this network is run by managed switches using something called VLANs, and we'll talk more about those in a sec. On top of that, you have this really important security layer, right? Firewalls, VPNs, all that good stuff to keep the bad guys out. Then the whole site connects back to a central command post, usually over the internet, where a network operations center or NOC keeps an eye on everything. See what I mean? It's pure IT architecture.
Okay, so I mentioned VLANs. What are they? Well, think of it like this. A VLAN lets you take one physical network and slice it up into multiple separate virtual networks. And for broadcasting, this is a total game changer. It means you can create a dedicated high-speed lane just for your on-air audio. It's completely walled off from all the other data, like control commands and system alerts. The bottom line? A sudden flood of error messages won't ever mess with your live broadcast. No dead air. It's brilliant.
All right, let's keep going because this is where things get really cool. We're talking about the remote revolution. Imagine being able to control a multi-million-dollar transmitter from anywhere. Your couch, a coffee shop, the other side of the planet. All you need is a web browser.
This slide just says it all, doesn't it? Think about the old days. Something goes wrong, you've got to jump in the truck, drive for hours out to some remote mountaintop just to flip one switch. Now, you pop open your laptop, log into a secure website, and boom, you've got total control. This isn't just a nice to have, it completely redefines what it means to be a broadcast engineer.
And here's a peek at what that actually looks like. This is a modern control dashboard. The best part? It's all built on simple HTML5. That means no weird software to install, no annoying plugins. If you've got a web browser on your phone, your tablet, whatever, you're in. You could be sipping a drink on a beach, fix a problem, and no one back at the station would even know anything was wrong. How cool is that?
But wait, it gets even better. The integration goes deeper with something called SNMP. Think of SNMP as the universal translator for network gear. It's the language IT systems have used for years to check on servers and routers, and now broadcast equipment speaks it fluently. So what does that mean? It means you can plug your transmitter's health stats right into the same dashboard that's watching all your IT stuff. You get one screen to see it all: transmitter power, server temps, you name it. And of course, you get instant alerts if anything starts to go sideways.
So, okay, we've established that all the control stuff is just data on a network. But what about the most important thing, the actual audio? The stuff people are tuning in to hear. Well, that brings us to our next topic, audio over IP, or AOIP. This is where the real magic happens, turning crystal clear audio into tiny little packets of data.
So what is AOIP, really? In a nutshell, it's a way to take super high-quality digital audio, wrap it up, and send it over a regular computer network. And I want to be clear here, we are not talking about a compressed MP3 stream. No. This is the good stuff, uncompressed, full fidelity, studio-grade sound. It's just traveling in a new way. And you should know, this isn't some brand new flaky tech. It's been around for a while, and it's rock solid. You've got major industry standards like Livewire, AES-67, Dante. And what that means for you is that you can buy gear from all different companies, and it all just works together on the network. It's a really mature ecosystem. But this is where people always get hung up. It's the big question, right? Especially for the poor on-air host. If you send audio over a network, isn't there going to be a delay? A lag? You know that awful, disorienting echo in your headphones that makes it impossible to speak? It's a fair question.
And the answer, thankfully, is a huge, resounding no. Not anymore. The tech has advanced so much that modern systems have a latency, that's the technical term for the delay, of under 5 milliseconds. Let me put that in perspective for you. That is literally faster than the time it takes for sound to travel from your mouth to your ears. It's so fast your brain cannot possibly detect it. It's a solved problem.
Okay, let's recap. We've got our equipment on the network, we've got our audio on the network, we can control the whole thing from a laptop. This all sounds amazing, but it leads us to the last and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle: security. Because think about it, if your broadcast station is now basically an IT data center, well, it's vulnerable to all the same cyber threats.
But here's the beautiful part. For every single broadcast-specific security problem you can think of, the IT world already has a battle-tested solution. Are you worried about some hacker taking control of your signal? That's why you have strong authentication and VPNs. What about a network attack? That's what firewalls and those VLANs we talked about are for. A bug in the system's software? You patch it, just like you patch your laptop. Someone trying to sniff your passwords? That's why we use encryption, like HTTPS. The entire IT security playbook just works, right out of the box.
And this quote from our source material just nails it, really. It brings everything home. The modern broadcast engineer has to be a hybrid. You can't just know broadcasting anymore. You have to know IT networking too. It's that blend of skills, that understanding of both worlds, that lets you build and operate these amazing systems we have today.
So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. We've seen how IP networking and remote control have completely remade the broadcast world. If our transmitter sites are basically becoming data centers that happen to have an antenna, you have to wonder, what's the next big IT innovation that's going to shake things up? Is it going to be AI that predicts when equipment will fail? Will we have entire transmitter sites that live completely in the cloud? The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.